Let's check this out. Los Angeles got 86,430. Texas got 44,171. New York got 28,245. Virginia got 23,198. Florida got 17,070. Maryland got 16,796. And these are Iranians that's already over here. And Trump then took and went to go blow their stuff up. So that is why I say we are not safe.
Okay, so you're tuned in to Raw Radio 513, and we're breaking down the latest on what's been going on domestically under Operation Epic Fury. Now, from February 28 to March 13, we've got a few incidents that are being looked at by federal authorities as potential acts of terrorism, according to the Council on Foreign Relations. Here's the rundown. First, on March 1st, in Austin, Texas, there was a shooting outside Buford's bar, where a man named Ndiaga Diagne killed 3 people and wounded 14. The FBI is looking into it because he had some gear and symbols that suggested a possible ideological motive. Next, on March 12th in Michigan, someone named Ayman Ghazali drove a truck into a synagogue in suburban Detroit. Given his background, personal history, the FBI is treating it as a targeted attack on the Jewish community. And also on March 12th in Virginia, there was a shooting at Old Dominion University. A gunman killed a military science professor and wounded 2 others. Again, the FBI is looking into it as a possible act of terrorism because it seemed inspired by past incidents at the Fort Hood shooting.
Yo, what's up? You know who it is. Your boy Westside Gregory up in here, host another episode of Raw Radio 513 News. Now, today's topic is about America. We are not safe. I don't feel that we are safe. Westside Gregory is telling y'all we are not safe as Americans. Okay, why? I don't know if y'all been keeping up with the news, but if you haven't, hey, that's what we here for. Raw Radio 513, we gonna drop it. We gonna bring it raw and uncut. Now, as y'all know, the United States and Israel has bombed Iran and just been bombing and just reason, I'm not really for sure, but impact, gas, milk, food, everything. Now, this is why I say the United States is not safe. A lot of y'all haven't been tuned in to the news, but it's been a lot of attacks on the U.S. soil, okay? And when I say a lot of attacks on the U.S. soil, I mean terroristic acts, because the United States and Israel has bombed Iran. So, let me tell y'all something. The United States said Trump said he claimed victory on the first day and that the war will be over real soon. But Iran said it's not over until they say it's over. Which is how war actually works. Just because you do something to someone and you say, I quit, I'm done, that don't mean that they quit or they're done. Okay, now, it's been a lot of tankers getting bombed. Trying to bring, it's over in Hamas. Okay, trying to come through Hamas. Tankers getting bombed. You know what Trump said? They should show some guts and come through. Even though Iran has been bombing on them. Okay, now let me tell y'all this. The reason why I say the United States of America is in trouble. We went over there and bombed. Well, I ain't gonna say we because a lot of y'all don't like when we say we. The United States, Donald Trump, went over there and bombed Iran, along with Israel help as American allies. Okay, check this out. You know how many Iranians is in the United States? Okay, they make up over 3% of United States population. Over 3% of United States populations is Iranians. Okay, now let's dig into this. And how many is that? 1.5 million Iranians is in the United States. All right, let's check this out. Los Angeles got 86,430. Texas got 44,171. New York got 28,245. Virginia got 23,198. Florida got 17,070. Maryland got 16,796. And these are Iranians that's already over here. And Trump then took and went to go blow their stuff up. So that is why I say we are not safe, because the Iranians are already in the United States. That's why you've been seeing them driving cars into synagogues and things like that. They are here, okay, in the United States. And I want y'all to look deep into these videos that I'm finna put right here at the end of this clip right here that I'm talking on. Okay, now check this out. The United States killed over 175 kids and 200 people total. They were just in the school, okay? And these was kids at school, okay? Imagine sending your kids off to school, or you a teacher and you sitting there, then boom, all of a sudden, okay? Now the U.S. blamed Israel for that bombing and said Israel had terrible aim. But guess what? It wasn't even Israel, it was the United States. So everything that Trump had to say about Israel and being bad bombers and had bad aim, it was the United States. Now, this is another thing. As I stated, you could go to war with somebody, but just because you say you quit and it's over, that don't mean that it's over. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Raw Radio 513 News. Y'all make it happen. Without y'all, we wouldn't be nothing over here at Raw Radio 513. Hey, yo, let's get into these clips.
On a high alert after two crime rocked the U.S., starting in Virginia. An ROTC student taking down a suspect who opened fire on a classroom, killing one person. The FBI, revealing sources, said that the suspect said Allahu Akbar before the shooting. Just hours later, a suspect rammed into a Michigan synagogue before exiting with a rifle and what agents are calling a targeted attack. Security shot and killed him. Joining us now is James Galliano, Fox News contributor and retired FBI supervisory special agent. James, good to see you, brother. I just want to show you this growing timeline, and we're hoping that we can nip this in the bud. But March 1st, you had that bar shooting in Austin, Texas. Saturday, attempted bombing in New York City. And then Thursday, the Synagogue Attack in West Bloomingfield, Michigan. And of course, Thursday, the Old Dominion University shooting in Norfolk, Virginia. This is spanning across the country, and looks like most of all of these motivations are radical Islam.
Yeah, and LJ, I'll tell you, I think since 9/11, there's been some 53 plots that were either foiled by the FBI or law enforcement or successful in the United States involving radical Islamists. Look, this is the suicidal empathy we talk about all the time, where there just isn't a proper process to vet these people. As you pointed out, in those four attacks, either naturalized citizens or the children of naturalized citizens. I think this is absolutely an assimilation problem, and that's something that we've got to focus on in our country right now.
You know, James, you were one of the big guns here in New York with the FBI, and you know how hard it is to build a counterterrorism case. Were you shocked to learn that one of the perpetrators of this act was convicted of providing material support and was released early?
Yeah, should have gone to jail for 20 years, Lawrence, and I believe did somewhere in the neighborhood of 132 months. And again, it goes back to that suicidal empathy. The judge here decided that somebody that was tried and convicted of providing material support to ISIS deserved a second chance. And this was his second chance. And Lawrence, with all the attention since October 23rd in Israel and the war in Iran right now, we are going to see more ISIS-related and inspired attacks. And why is that? Well, propaganda and attention is the coin of the realm in the terror business. And ISIS doesn't want Hamas and Hezbollah getting all the attention. So I think now more than ever, we need to pay attention to these potential lone wolf attacks.
Well, James, also there seems to be this growing movement, and I talked about it even in my home state of Texas, of isolation with these communities that are not assimilating. And because of this new culture of wokeness and everything, it's like, let them be. But doesn't that breed moments like these, though?
Yeah, so what's the opposite of assimilation, LJ? Insularity. And that's what's going on in these places. Look, my family came here in 1905 from Sicily. They were proud Sicilians, but they were Americans first, and they worked hard to assimilate. When you set up these communities and you make them closed in, and then you foment hate, and that's what this is about. These folks are trying to get back at a culture and a civilization which they want to be a part of, but then they don't. And to your point, very difficult to determine who are the ones that are the true threats and who are the ones that just tolerate the threat in their midst.
It's such a good point. If you want to be a part of the country, then you have to be a part of the experiment. Be a part of it. And if you miss the culture that you're leaving, there's always the opportunity to go back. But you have to choose the American way. James, thanks so much for joining us.